Sherry
Nice to meet
Antonio, Subject Matter President, Avenue Construction Problems.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
Members of the council. My
Welcome.
name is Sherry Antello. I am a resident at 1276 President Avenue, and I come to you tonight with some grave concerns about the construction project that's been happening. I have suffered some pretty severe damage to my home, so have my neighbors, and we're concerned on who's going to fix our problems. So I come to you tonight really to, what I do in life really is when there's a problem that's happened to me, I come to prevent someone else from going through the same issues that I have. President Avenue has been under construction since April, and it's still not complete. We had no communication about this project or the scope or the depth of how bad our lives would be for these months. I bring to you the communication that I received. This is the first letter that came in April that stated a water main would be replaced. Okay, water main, sounds great. I like water. Let's have clean water. No. Then it was, we're gonna have a couple bypasses for your house. We need to get in, we need to put the bypasses in. This is the extent of the communication that I've had. Sorry. Ooh, so sorry. This is the communication. Next thing, I come home one day, and at night, all of a sudden, 8 o'clock, here come construction crews. The place is lit up like Fenway. I go out to the street, and I asked to speak to the foreman. I said, "Excuse me, sir, what time do you guys cut out at night?" "Oh, we're not cutting out, we're working overnight." I said, what is your definition of overnight?" 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. I live between Spencer Borden and Truesdale at the crest of the hill. My bedroom is approximately 10 feet from the street. There were jackhammers all night. The trucks were digging up the street. It was a disaster. So what's happened to my house now, when they dug up the sidewalks, is they took backhoes and slammed the backhoes on the sidewalk to break the sidewalk to put the new sidewalk in. Now, obviously I'm not a construction worker, but, that's pretty heavy, severe noise and damage. I now have water coming into my house every rainstorm. Last night, I had a good puddle in my cellar. I've lived in my home for 12 years. I've never had water. My next-door neighbor has a disabled child. At times, they would not communicate with us when the street was going to be opened or closed. The child is nonverbal autistic. She had to get the child out of the house and was not informed in time to get the child to school. When I tell you this has been absolute hell for this neighborhood, last week they started jackhammering up the manhole covers. Now, they have one black coat tar down, nothing is complete, and they filled it in, and there's now pipes coming out of the street with holes around it that everyone's hitting all night long. I would like you to imagine living in my house, sleeping in my bedroom, and hearing noise every single night. This has, again, been going on since April. I spoke to the foreman. He was unprofessional to me. He spoke down to me. I would never treat another human being in that manner. I asked to speak to him again. He came to my house. He stuck this little card on a nail on the front of my house asking to speak to me regarding the damages to my house. If the wind had come and this card had blown away, I never would have been able to be in touch with him. Came to my house to explain to me why my house wasn't constructed properly and what I needed to do to fix my house, and that I needed to prove to him how the city did the damages by this work. He spoke down to me like I was a degenerate or didn't understand what house construction was, living in my house for 12 years. The water never came in my house before this project began. So I come to the council today to ask, not only for myself, but for the rest of my neighbors, who is going to pay for these damages that we've incurred? The house down at the bottom of the hill across from Spencer Borden had sewage backing up into their basement because they hit the sewer line.
Ms. Antel, your time is up, but the conversation you have is extremely serious. I just talked to the clerk. We're going to file a resolution to have this item referred to the Committee of Public Works and Transportation and bring everyone in that's part of that project to see what has been going on, why it's been so long, what they plan on doing, and then all the other questions that you have, you will be invited to that meeting, and as well as any of your neighbors. and we can discuss it further there, because this is a simple time. We appreciate your input,
Thank you.
letting us know what's going on. But I think that would be the right course of action to take at this point, instead of being able to discuss it here, because we limited time, and the people responsible for what's going on are not present. So I think the right thing to do is I'll file a resolution. I told the clerk to write it up. We're going to have it voted on this meeting tonight, and then you'll get a phone call, or whatever way you want us to get in touch with you to let you know, and neighbors as well, invited to that meeting. Okay?
Thank you for
Great,
coming.
greatly
Appreciate it. Thank you very
I
much.
do
for
have
your-
photo evidence, too, of everything that's been happening.
You can
as
bring
we
that to
go
the, you can
along.
give it to the clerk
Bring it to
now
the
for the
next
meeting, or you can
Yeah.
bring it with you, whatever you like to do.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
for your time, everyone.
Or you can
Appreciate
give
it.
to the clerk, if you like, and she'll.
And I'm sure the committee chairperson will schedule that meeting as soon as possible.
I will.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure.